boom 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 boom. Pa 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 pa. Do do boop ba boop ba. Do do boop ba pa 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 pa. Ara pa 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 ra pa pa. Doom do do pa pa. What am I doing? I'm not even on the right thing. I'm not even on the right screen. There we go. Much better. Mucho better. David, my friend, how are you, David? Are you having a good day? David, are you having a good day? Mini Stash, what up, dude? Jeremy, what up? Break that solo out. Dude, I always break the solo out. Yesterday it was some Dora. Today it's some random solo stuff. Harold, what's going on? Or Harrods, my bad. Harrods? Dude, I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Garage. We're just going with garage on that one. What up, dude? Wolf, what's poppin'? Brian, sup? You tell me what's up, dude. What's up? Yo, Michael, what up? I am literally watching the last video. Then boom. Live feed. Dude, last video was interesting. That Evo is definitely going to be a project. We got stuff coming for it, though. The Evo's not supposed to be like an overnight project. That car's going to take a little bit of time, but it'll be pristine when it's done. Actually, I'll show you guys the goals for the Evo here in a minute. I'm having an okay day. Why just okay? Fernando, what up, Tom? What up, Tom? Hey, yo, what's up? What's up, Justin? What up, dude? What's up, man? Just totaled my 2022 Outback this Friday. Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear. Hopefully insurance is, like, taking care of you, and hopefully you're okay also. Hopefully, like, there's no, like, bodily harm or anything like that. Bippity boppity boop. See, that's what I'm saying. Boop, boop, bop. Hey, how's it going? What up, Steve? Julian, what's up? On my way home. What's up, bud? We'll drive safe. Don't, just think of this as a podcast stuff. So, I actually wanted to do this, so today I went up to the mod garage. You guys know I do side projects, side builds for the mod garage and help Brian out up there. And I'm working on I want to say it's a 2018 STI, right? Car came in. Motor was knocking. It's a stock engine. It's got basic bolt-ons, Cobb SF intake, HKS SSQV, which you guys know I'm like always big no-no on that one on MAF-based cars. So intake, SSQV, Cobb fuel pressure regulator thing. It's just a GD fuel pressure regulator essentially with some line. And a couple other basic mods. NVIDIA catless downpipe. You should have had catted on there anyways. But whenever I go into like tearing an engine apart, I always try to find like what caused this engine to fail. What may have been the failure point. So when you're going through and like tearing it apart and everything like that, I always try to find like what caused it. And I found this. So let me actually share this screen here. Very important. Remember to check your coil packs, you guys.
And you don't really know them all that well. Make sure you take the time to go over everything. I'm tearing this motor out because this one has rod knock now. But
even if you ever take your car to a new shop and you're like kind of weary about the people there or something like that, it doesn't hurt to go through and double check everything they did, because check this out.
But from the looks of it, it looks like whoever worked on it last never bolted down cylinder 4 coil pack and completely toasted this engine. So now I got to pull this one out and swap it. Yay. Dude, it gets worse. So cylinder 4 isn't even bolted down at all. You guys can see it back there. Cylinder 2 right here.
Dude, it's so bad.
Coilpacks fucking loose as hell. No wonder this engine blew up. It was probably misfiring at like high RPM.
Dead. It's ridiculous. If you take your car to a shop and it seems a little sketch, it doesn't hurt to double check the work. Unfortunately, this car died due to coil packs not being bolted down all the way, and under like high load, high RPM, started breaking up, started misfiring, and then just boom, engine dead. Looks like it lost compression on cylinder 2 and cylinder 4 because of that. Cylinders 1 and 3, even the electrical connectors alone on the coil packs on cylinders 1 and 3 were broken. I found the receipt. I know what shop did it. I'm not going to like toss the shop out there because that's not my place to do so. But I went through, I looked at the receipt from the last shop that touched the car, and they did do spark plugs on it, which tells me they took the coil packs out and they didn't bolt down cylinders 2 and 4 all the way. So yeah, make sure to double check work. Like I always have people double check my work whenever I go through anything, like after an engine build or an engine rebuild or anything like that. Just have a second set of eyes go over things. Like it can potentially save you an engine or something a lot worse. Like that is like worst case scenario in that. So just PSA, double check other people's work, double check your own work. We all miss things. It's just unfortunate that this one had to suffer an engine failure to be caught. It is what it is, though. Am I retaining DCCD for the 17 STI? I'm going to try my damnedest to retain DCCD. I don't see any reason why DCCD wouldn't work, because I'm running 2 ECUs in the car. I'm running the OEM ECU in the 17 STI and the Haltech, and then I'm going to try to, like, mesh them together somehow. I don't know how quite yet, but I'm going to try to mesh them together a little bit just to be able to retain that. Like, A, I want to keep all the OEM features in the car. B, the Haltech only is planning on running the engine itself. So, I don't know. I'm going to try to retain DCCD. We'll see if that's an option, but definitely something I'm going to be trying to do. Plumber, also appreciate the dono, dude. Perry the Peach. The big old peach in the house. I'm all about it. Oof, talk about a shop killing a motor for real. Dang, that is devastating. I would be so pissed if I took... This is why I, like, am super hesitant about ever taking my cars to shops. Like, that's how I learned to do a lot of my own stuff. A, I'm super cheap. B, I don't necessarily trust a lot of places to work on my cars, with the exception of a very few amount of people. It's just things like that. Like, I don't like that. Something that small will kill your engine. If you're like high RPM and your coil pack pops out, if it's not bolted all the way on, is what it is. But can't do anything about it. Well, now we can. We can replace the engine, but aside from that, it's too late. Now the engine blew up. Did a blow up job. How do you double check Pro Tunes? I mean, find a good tuner who's competent and know what they're doing, and then you won't have to have... That one is a little bit different, but find a competent tuner who actually knows how to tune the platform you're on. For us, whether it's Volkswagen, EQT tuning, APR, a lot of good ones for that one. Subaru, Surgeline, PRE, English Racing, Evos, from what I know, English Racing just being up here. Also, Plumber! ×2 on the Perry the Peach! Appreciate the donos, my friend. Appreciate it as always, dude. Would it be worth getting an 18 STI to 450 wheel horsepower for a daily, or should I go with a WRX? To be honest, I would probably get an STI. I would look at a 2019, though, instead of a 2018, so that way you, at minimum, already get the Type RA short block. We've already seen Bader push those short blocks. I think he's around like 800. I think it's 800 plus on that one. Damn, Plumber coming in here and kill it. Plumber! You're blowing it up with Perry the Peach, dude. I'm all about it, man. Hey, always appreciate the donos, dude. Charlie, damn, I didn't even know you were live. I know, I was just about to respond to your message, and then we started the live stream, so I was going to jump back on it after this stream, but Plumber coming in here blowing it up. I appreciate the donos, Plumber. Getting all distracted and whatnot, staring at all these peaches. You got some big old peaches showing up on my screen now. I can't, Plumber. I literally can't, dude. Appreciate the that's Plumber. But for real, if you're looking at a WRX versus STI, consider the 2019 plus. You get the Type RA short block already, so you know they hold power. 450 on a Type RA short block should be totally fine. 450 on a Type RA short block should be totally Gucci. Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude. Perry the Peach. And David coming in here with Perry the Peach's brother, sister, Jumping Jack Peach. I don't know. The Peach? Another Peach? There's so many peaches. Plumber, you're killing me with these peaches, dude. You're absolutely killing me, man. I recently tuned my STI using default Cobb Stage 1 and my Knox in Cylinder 4. Always right around 60. After that, about a 30-minute problem. Is the problem with the sensor or the tune? I recently just tuned. Oh, my goodness. All right, hold This is so distracting. It's so distracting. I appreciate the donos, you guys. Hold on. Give me 1 sec to get through this question. I just recently tuned my STI using default Cobb Stage 1. So it's an OTS map. And Knox in Cylinder 4 always read around 60. Like fine knock learn? Or feedback knock, or cylinder roughness. What do you meaning they read around 60 after about 30 minutes? Which, if it's like feedback knock and you're seeing 60, that's going to be like ghost knock or something that's not actually there. If it's cylinder roughness, I would start investigating a little bit if it's going up to a count of 60. I would probably check spark plug gap, to be honest. That's probably where I would start first. Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude. David. Fun times with souls. Come down to Panama City Beach. Senpai, Dad, I have a condo right on the beach. You know, you said condo and you said beach, so you talked me into it, dude. I'm down. Condos and beaches. I can't say no to that. Jordan, you guys are absolutely killing it with the donos tonight. Jordan, appreciate the dono, dude. Literally just finished the Evo 8 video. Here's my donation to your future. Cody, appreciate the dono. Surprise. Get them likes up. Appreciate it, you guys. If you're seeing knock some cylinder 4 count go up to 60, start with spark plugs. That's definitely not normal. It could be a tune-related issue. You could try reflashing that tune back onto the ECU and see if that clears it up. Sometimes it does do that. If that doesn't fix the problem, at that point I'd go in there and probably check spark plug gap and coil pack and everything like that just to make sure it's all Gucci. Oh, you guys are like distracting me, and I always appreciate the donos, guys. You guys come in here, kill it every single time. The Evo, I was gonna tear down the 4G63 today, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I was told my buddy Cameron knows 4Gs pretty well. He used to have an Evo 8 also. So I was talking to him last night when we were playing Minecraft, and we're like kicking it in. We were kicking the Minecraft playing. He told me I ordered the cam lock tool he told me to get, but the timing belt's already off the 4G. And it's definitely an interference engine, so I'm kind of concerned we potentially might have bent valves. If we do, it's not the end of the world. It's whatever. We'll do a little bit of porting. We'll do like an upgraded or a slightly bigger intake and exhaust valve on that thing, but I'm hoping it doesn't have bent valves. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. So we'll see. Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude. Another big old peach in my face. I'm all about it. What is the new intake plenum shape fuses? So it's kind of like, let me see if I can pull up a photo on my phone and point it at the camera, because I have a couple photos of what we're actually going to be doing with the plenum shape on the 17 STI. If I can find it. This is very distracting. Can I? I can't even find it right now. I don't even know where I put it on my phone. It's like this like weird, it's like more plenum shaped. I don't know how to describe it. I'll try to find it and post a picture up on Instagram tonight to show you guys. Also, Junior, appreciate the dono, dude. Who's the wise guy that thumbs down the video? There's always one. You know, there's always people that swing in and they gotta hate. There's always haters. There's always haters. It's all right, though. It's all right. I will still answer your question if you ask a question and you thumbs down the video. Well, I'll try to answer it. I'm buying an Evo soon. I cannot wait for those videos to be up. That's what I'm saying. They're hard to find. It took me a year to finally get like a project Evo that I've been looking for. Also, side note, Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude, with the big old peach. Big old peach. Can't wait for the STI to start up. Love your content, dude. Appreciate it, my friend. Also, Starwind, welcome to the membership program, my friend. Welcome to the membership. Can't wait for... I know, dude. So hopefully soon. So the race pack was supposed to be delivered today, but of course it got delayed. It's somewhere in Troutdale, Oregon. Troutdale, Oregon has once again shafted us, and it has been just vanished. So hopefully it shows up tomorrow. Same with my other Sparko seat. They're both somewhere in Troutdale. So hopefully those show up soon. Plumber, we must find who disliked the video. We ain't going through here and sourcing everyone out. It's all right. Connor on here making... Who's Connor? Who's Connor? I'm not Connor. Jeremy. Who's Connor? My CVT 04WRX won't up your CVT 04WRX. 04WRX does not have a CVT. It has like a standard automatic transmission. WRX won't uphill start to third gear going uphill. Any ideas? Valve body would probably be my first guess. If it's a 4 EAT or a 5 EAT, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's one of those ones. Bill LGT with coming in here with the big banana. Big banana. Hey, appreciate the dono, my friend. Troutdale is a clusterfuck. Troutdale is a clusterfuck. I haven't lost, but I've had so many parts get delayed in Troutdale. It's wild. I don't even understand it. MA Performance actually makes some pretty good parts for the 4G. You should totally get the full titanium exhaust from RK. Sounds so good. I don't know what I plan. Like I said in the video, baby steps with the Evo right now. I want to get brakes back on the car so that way we can actually stop it. Instead of ripping up on the e-brake. I need to order new e-brake components for that thing because it is it's a little scary to try to like stop the car like manually with your hands, especially when we're going backwards down a hill or ripping the e-brake. I don't want to do any more damage to that e-brake if I can avoid it. So brakes first, then we're going to do we're going to tear down the 4G, get the head sent off to the machine shop so that way we can get all that done. People were suggesting I should stroke it. I don't know if I'm going to stroke the 4G. I might just leave it a 2-liter. Like I said, my goal for that car is only like 500 to 600 wheel horsepower. We don't need to make it a race car. We have the STI as the race car. We don't need to make it dailyable either, though, because that's the point of the Golf R. I've actually been enjoying the Golf R a lot lately, driving that thing around every single day. But yeah, lots of stuff. Whoa, you ever read my IG message with the Soul Function VA chassis parts? I think I saw it come through, but I haven't had a chance to look at it today. I've been tearing apart that STI all day, trying to get the engine out. I think I'm gonna pull the engine out on Friday and get the heads off of that thing, inspect the heads, go get those dropped off at the machine shop, so that way I can start assembling this guy's new block for him, get it back in the car with his fresh heads, and start tossing it all together. Start getting it all together. You ever replace an oil pump on an EJ with the engine in the car? How bad is the replacement? It's not terrible. You're going to have to pull timing off the car. If you want to give yourself a little bit more room, we'll pull the radiator out. Crank pulley comes off. Timing covers come off. Disassemble timing. I highly suggest getting the Company 23 crank, or not crank tool, the cam lock tool, so that way you can keep timing in place. Then it pretty much pull off the crank sprocket, take out the 7 bolts that hold the oil pump on there, pull off the oil pump. Make sure you prime your new oil pump before putting it on there. Scrape off all the old sealant. Make sure your O-ring is on the new oil pump before you put it on. Seal it up, stick it on, put it all back together. It's not terrible. It's a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. What size injectors if I get intake downpipe, front mount intercooler, headers uppipe, and turbo inlet? Well, it depends on your power goals and what fuel you're using. If you're using E85 or pump gas, if you're just sticking with pump gas, ID 1000s, depending on what your power goals are for E85, either ID 1300s or 1700s. It's really going to come down to like how much power you plan on making on that one. Love your videos, your insight and info. I'll get an STI at some point when it's time to put my LGT to pasture. Don't kill the LGT. Why? Don't kill the legacy. Don't do that one. Raven Child, appreciate the dono, man. Just got back from a week on the beach at Tillicum, Oregon. I believe that one's right. My Cobb fuel pressure regulator still isn't here. Getting tired of how low load stumbles. I do not blame you. That Cobb fuel pressure regulator actually is a pretty nice upgrade for those who are considering staying like somewhat modified, where you're not going to be doing like a whole bunch of like AM fuel line craziness stuff. It's actually not a bad setup at all. How's the intake manifold on Blue coming along? So we're not going to be redoing the intake manifold on the Subaru until Kyle comes back from SEMA. He's going down there for a couple of days, so we're not in a huge rush on that one. So once he comes back up from SEMA, he's going to take the intake manifold, redo it for us at that point. Right now, there's not much I can do on the Subaru until I get the rest of the sensors in, which keep getting delayed in Troutdale, Oregon, and there's a few more that I need to order, like the wideband controller, the wideband sensor, cam position sensor. I actually think that's it for sensors. It's just those ones. I have the IAT, I have the NOx sensors, I have the reluctor wheel. Yeah, I think it's just like 2 or 3 more sensors that we need to snag and then start putting it all together at that point. Wolf, appreciate the dono, dude. Been a while since I've been able to catch a stream. Well, appreciate the dono, my friend. So I figured I'd send you a dono as a thanks for the content. Your vids helped a lot. I appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it, dude. Hopefully you've been doing well. Also, Cody, appreciate the dono, man. You know you're going to go nuts on the... Yeah, you're right. I'm going to go nuts on the Evo. Even though I say I'm not going to go nuts on the Evo. I'm going to go nuts on the Evo. Like, you guys know me. Like, my whole thing for the 05 STI at the start of that one was, like, I'm not going to push it crazy far. It's just going to be a little bit of a daily driver that we get a little bit more power to. Yeah, that one went totally out the window. So, we'll see what we end up doing with the Evo. I do have that Precision 6870 that we could pull off the Subaru and put on the Evo, because the Subaru does need a 7675. So, we do have a 6870 that we could transfer over to the Evo when the time comes. So, I mean, we technically already have a turbo for it. Also, Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude. Larry the Lemon holding Kiki the Kiwi? Is that a kiwi or a lime? I don't know if that's a lime. Or Larry the Lime, Larry the Lemon, Larry the Lime. They're both Larrys. I don't know, a whole bunch of Larrys going on. I need to get my Evo back on the road again. Yeah, I need to get my Evo on the road. I mean, technically, it's only been pushed. 1,000 horsepower Evo. That seems a little overkill. That one seems a little overkill, but we'll see. Can you do a green connector switch? Why do we got to do the green? Don't make me go back to the green test connectors. Don't make me do that. For a fresh build, do you recommend using actual break-in oil or just some conventional oil? So for the first 50 miles of the break-in, you can use either break-in or conventional. Personally, I use break-in oil, but it's also more expensive to do that because you're only using it for 50 miles. Conventional oil is totally fine for the first 50 miles. After the first 50 miles, at that point, I would use break-in oil. There's tons of brands out there you can use for break-in oil. Whatever your bread and butter is for whatever brand you want to go with is the one that I would suggest. But yeah, I mean, you can use either one. I would suggest at minimum conventional for the first 50 miles because it's a cheap oil that you can run through just to get like all the deposits that have been sitting in the engine out as it was being assembled or put together, and then use break-in oil. Also, LGT, we got the banana berry, the banana slipping around and whatnot. Appreciate the dono, dude. Tanner and all. Good evening, Tannery. I kind of like Tannery now. I kind of like that one. I went 1100 wheel on mine and it broke. I mean, I could see that. I could see that happening a little bit. 1100. There's a lot. You put so much stress on stuff once you start making like a ton of power. Typically, drivetrain stuff tends to go unless it's like fully built for that, or engine stuff if it's not fully built for it. Either way. Hopefully, it gets back on the road soon. When is Devin Niemola collab coming? I don't know. I mean, I'd totally down to work with Devin, but I don't think Devin. I've seen Devin comment on a couple of my videos in the past, but I've never been able to get a hold of him. So. If the opportunity ever promotes itself, I'm totally down. Also, Slideways, welcome to the Stage 1 membership program, my friend. Welcome. Shantz trans mounts, pitch stop, upgraded, recommended Whiteline inserts for both. Whiteline makes good stuff. I like Whiteline stuff. Whiteline makes good Gucci stuff. What oil pump do you recommend for an 08 modded STI? Honestly, OEM. There's not really a huge need to jump up to bigger oil pump sizes unless you're increasing the RPM band of the car. Like if you're increasing your red line, obviously you're going to want a little bit better oil flow throughout the car. So at that point, I would consider going up to like a 12 mil or a modified 12 mil. For us on the EG, I'm using a modified, it's an RCM modified 12 millimeter oil pump to flow better because we're going to be revving that car super high up in the RPM band. We want to make sure that we have good oil flow throughout the engine and that we're not starving anything of oil. There's a really good video by Flatiron Tuning Out covering like all oil pump options. If you're going with like 10, 11, 12 JDM options, I would highly consider giving that one a watch. It'll break it down like significantly more than any others out there that I've come across. But for the most part, if you're staying at like stock like red line levels, you're not doing like a crazy amount of stuff to the head, stock oil pump's totally fine. If you want a little bit better flow up higher end, if you're really pushing that RPM band out farther, modified pumps or a little bit bigger of a pump is a good idea. What are some mods you can do to reach 450 wheel horsepower on the STI? Ethanol, FP black, FP red, FP green. I would do, all right, full exhaust, turbo, full turbo back, injectors, fuel pump, bypass valve, front mount intercooler, boost controller. If you have the money, cams never hurt either. It just makes it a little bit easier because you can shove more air in there. Giving like a full on like the full build list, I'm not going to do that over the live stream. That would just take like a little bit too long. But there's a lot into it. Go watch. I highly suggest watching the build breakdown of Karma when we did the FP Black setup, and that will get you to 450 wheel horsepower on a stock block. That one, like, that was a Type RA short block. We got to 450 on pump gas. That wasn't even E85, so you can totally do it. Flat iron tuning is the shit. That's what I'm saying. I love flat iron tuning. They make a ton of good stuff. Woo, James! Member for 9 months. I didn't know you could do that. That's dope. Do you know if anybody has looked into doing a 4DS conversion on the... I don't. So it may be feasible, but the difficult part of doing the D4S conversion on an FA20 from a BRZ or a GT86 or an FRS, whatever one you want to pull it from, would be being able to control the port injection. If you could find a way to control the port injection, then it would be feasible, but I think the hardest part is going to be like trying to control port injection. When are we going to see the R again? I have parts coming in for the R. I just don't have them yet. So as soon as the parts for the Golf R come in, You get more Golf R videos. I'm about to order some more parts for the Golf R probably this weekend. I've been looking into catch cans for the Golf R because I know that thing has a decent amount of blow by. When I pulled the intake off that thing and I put that cob intake on there, there was so much oil in the intake track that I want to get that corrected. I've been looking at APR, but I saw APR like catch cans tend to leak a little bit from the PCV fittings that go on the block. So I'm still looking into catch cans for that car. I still need to get a clutch for it. Seems like South Bend Endurance is the way to go on the Golf R. So there are Golf R videos coming. I'm just waiting for parts to come in for it. Troutdale, I'm telling you, Troutdale just gets us every time. Taylor Toon bought a Series Gray STI out from under me. Not going to lie, kind of salty. I don't blame you. I'd be salty too. I've had people buy cars out from under me, and I get salty. I get salty about it. Would I consider going back to how you made 340 video with an updated links? I don't know. I'm not going to update the links in that one, but I'll tell you what, Roast Beast, I'll make an updated video. I've been meaning to do this one. I actually have it on my whiteboard of a video to make. I'll make an updated video for different intervals for power goals for EJs for, we'll say 350 wheel horsepower, 400, 450, and 500. I'll do recommended builds for those. Don't get me wrong. There's always different ways you can make power. But I have been meaning to make an updated version of that video. So I'll get that. Give me 2 weeks and I'll get that video out. I'll have links to every single part for that one that kind of gets you to the point where you want to be for power on those power levels. So I'll get that video made. Give me 2 weeks and I'll get it out there. Would you consider, that's the one I just did. Why do we check our Coilpacks? Just got here. Austin. So I'll show the video one more time because it's a little frightening. So I work up at the mod garage part-time. Not even part-time. I just kind of like contract up there doing engine builds for Brian every now and then. And this is the one that I went and I worked on today. So I'll show this video one more time since some people may have just jumped in here. But I'm working on this car. It's got rod knock. It's a 2018 STI. I don't know how many miles on it. I didn't check the odometer before I pulled up the battery in it. But check this out.
Car to a shop and you don't really know them all that well. Make sure you take the time to go over everything. I'm tearing this motor out because this one has rod knock now, but from the looks of it, it looks like whoever worked on it last never bolted down cylinder 4 coil pack and
nope.
Completely toasted this engine, so now I gotta pull this one out and swap it.
Yay.
Dude, it gets worse. So cylinder 4 isn't even bolted down at all. You guys can see it back there. Cylinder 2 right here. This coil pack's fucking loose as hell. No wonder this engine blew up. It was probably misfiring at like high RPM. Dead.
Yeah, so make sure you check your coil packs. For those that didn't catch it earlier when we covered that, since that is the title of the video, yeah, this engine that I pulled, that I'm still pulling, I'm pulling it out on Friday, taking the heads off on Friday. The last shop that worked on the car, they didn't fully bolt down coil packs 2 and 4, and they ended up backing themselves out because they weren't actually tight. And one of them fell out while dude was driving the car, started breaking up, misfiring, ended up with rod knock. So you got to be careful with some shops that you take your cars to. It never hurts to get a second set of eyes to double check things and things like that. You gotta be careful with it. It sucks that this engine did suffer engine failure due to something so minuscule. Like this could have been avoided easily if the coil packs were properly tightened down, but it sucks. It sucks. So make sure you check your coil packs. I switched to HKS oil filters last year. Never looked back. I've always used Prova. I don't know, don't ask me. I'm like salty about Provo. Not salty, but I like Provo ones. Subaru car brutality with those coil packs, dude. It's bad. It's bad. That coil pack was straight hanging out of the engine. I was like, oh, that's our problem. That's why I blew up. That's why I did the blow up job right there. I'm using the Mazda filters. The Tokyo Rokis by Mazda are actually really good oil filters too, and they're pretty affordable. I need a good shop to redo my Evo. I took it to a crap shop the first time and got screwed. Any suggestions? The only good shop locally that I know that does Evos very well is English Racing. I don't know how much they charge. I've personally never taken any cars to English Racing, but I've seen the work that comes out of there and it all looks like top notch. That's the only good Evo shop that I know of up here in the Northwest. I may end up, they're probably going to be the ones tuning my Evo. But it's so weird to say that, my Evo. Oh, it's so weird. I've always wanted one. It gets me every time. Are 17 STI blocks reliable for 450 wheel horsepower? Unfortunately not. Maybe not. The thing is, all right, so with all pre-Subarus, before they all got the Type R short blocks, so we're talking 2018 to 2004, 2018. I like to call those the popsicle stick engines because it's like drawing popsicle sticks out of a hand. You don't know if you're going to get a good one. You don't know if you're going to get a bad one. It can honestly go either way. A lot of it has to do with like the lifespan, how the car was taken care of, how it was treated like that. But sometimes it is just factory stuff. It's a popsicle stick. You don't know if it's going to be good. You don't know if it's going to be bad. So it's always a toss-up on that one. Also, Cardenas! Appreciate the dono, man. Always appreciate the dono. You guys kill it every single time. I'm going to collab with Bader. Am I going to collab with Bader? Yeah, of course I am. Bader just got a shop. So, Josh, if you ever see this or listen to this as a podcast, congrats on the shop, dude. Hopefully, we are not too far behind you. I'm going to look at one tomorrow. So, hopefully, that happens because, as you guys see, we definitely need more space. But, yeah, Josh is actually going to be the one who's tuning the Blue Brew around the garage with the EG33 in it, tuning the Haltech on that car. So, yeah, that'll be coming at some point. Keep in mind that all of the other YouTube people in Washington are all on the east side. I'm on the west side, and it's like a 4.5-5 hour drive to go from one side to the other side. Maybe at some point we can make things a little more frequent, but we are planning for it in the future. Oh yeah, congrats on the abandoned Evo, by the way. Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man. It's still weird to say that I have an Evo. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Hey, I have a 2018 STI, and I've done IAG, AOS, Killer Bee, oil pickup, baffle, cylinder forward cooling mod. What else would you recommend for reliability? I do not have an access port. Motor is kind of stock. If you want to take it to the next level of reliability, snag an equal length header. I highly suggest like Killer Bee. That's probably my go-to. Killer Bee or ETS are my go-tos for headers on those. Get an E-tune or a Pro tune. A specific tune built for your car instead of running an OTS tune is always going to be more beneficial to like overall engine life and longevity. Like, yes, OTS tunes are decent if you use the parts listed in the map notes. But for the most part, I mean, you're pretty much already there. If you really want, you could get a radiator if you really wanted to. Another slept on reliability mod that not actually a lot of people do are fluid damper crank pulleys. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. They help absorb a good amount of the vibration that goes through the crank, so that way the bearings aren't taking, or the crank isn't taking the abuse of the vibrations. Fluid dampers. It's a slept-on reliability mod, but I highly suggest that. I'm going to be getting one for the Evo. I have one on the EG33. I'm going to be getting one on the Golf R because the Golf R is something that is subject to crank walk for the manual transmission ones. It seems like it's only like model years 16 and 17, 15 and 16, which of course I have. So stronger clutches tend to give those cars a little bit of crank walk, and a fluid damper definitely helps to correct a little bit of that. Slept on mod. Not a lot of people do. Everyone goes for lightweight crank pulleys. Toss those in the trash. Fluid dampers all the way. Finally getting the STI soon. What mod should I get? I have about 5 to 6K already. Has access port, intake, and axle back. That really depends on the goals of the car. If you want to make I always suggest people make their cars a little more driver focused or a little more driver oriented when you get to the car. My top mods for that, AOS, if it doesn't already have one. That's not really driver oriented, but it does help. AOS, get a short shifter. Surprisingly enough, like Cartboy short shifter is by far my favorite modification on that car. Like, it makes driving the car feel so much better. Shift knob, it's just nice to touch. Get a steering wheel you like too. I personally really like the Alcantara OEM Type RA one. Master cylinder brace is another really good one too, because it definitely helps like fix a lot of the flex in the clutch pedal, and the brakes too. Aside from that, like coilovers are another good one. Rear sway bar is another really good one if you want like driver connected modifications. White line positive shift kit is a really good one too that not a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people do. It goes on the cross member of the transmission, so it's not like the transmission mount, but it's like it goes in the cross member. It actually does make a difference. But it really depends on what you're getting. Is this an Evo channel? I mean, it's like an all-over channel. It's like an all-over channel. We're like all over the place now. It used to just be Subaru, and now it's like all over the place. I told you guys we were going to be doing the expanding. I told you this was going to be happening. It was funny, too, because I was like, I'm not really going to... I'll get something that's not a Subaru, and then I got a Subaru, and then now we're continuing to expand. Powers on 6266 BC280 with supporting fuel. It really depends on how far you want to push it, to be honest. Like, that's up to the tuner. I mean, I've on a 6266 on BC280s. The sky's the limit. Look at what Josh did on that RA block. It was an unopened long block, stock cams with I think it was a 6466 or 6870. I don't remember. They were making 800 plus. So to be honest, it really comes down to the tuner and how aggressive you want to push it. Like, it really comes down to how far you want to push that thing. What's up from Cali? What up, Subi Hawkeye 805? What up, my friend? What are some things I should look for when buying a 19 STI? I'm 16, about to start a job and save for the STI. Damn, boy, damn. Honestly, find one closer to stock. Closer to stock, the better. You don't want to run into the issue that I'm running into with the 05 STI when I got that car, parts all over the place. Yes, it ran, but it was like completely scattered. You don't want to run into issues like I have with the Evo right now, where you don't really know what's going on, but something's going on, and you just kind of like that. It's like when you go to a party and everyone else is partying, and you're just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to do with my hands, kind of thing. Honestly, closer to stock, the better. That's going to be my suggestion. Any word on the OTL coil packs? I personally never use them. I've heard good things about them. For me, I always tend to stick with OEM. I've never ran into an issue with OEM ones. If you're making like 1,000 plus, it's not a bad idea to consider stronger coil packs. But I've personally never used OTL coil packs, so I don't know. I don't think OTL likes me either. I don't think they like me. I never did anything to OTL, but I don't think they like me. I like them. OTL, if anyone, I know Loy works there. Loy's dope. But I don't think OTL likes me for some reason. I don't know why. It's just a weird feeling. You should get an S550 Mustang. I actually do like the S550 Mustang a lot. But it's not like a car that's at like the top of my list right now. I think if I were to get another car, it would weirdly enough and honestly enough, it would probably be a Ford Focus RS. Just because I'm on this like weird tangent right now. I don't have any more money to spend on any more cars right now. But if I could get another one, I think I'd probably get a Ford Focus RS just to kind of like do the thing. I don't know why. I don't know, like the complete all-wheel drive channel. People were saying Audi too. Quattro. I got a 2020 WRX, 2002 WRX, and a 95 Integra as well, but I love my Evo. I don't blame you. I'm like, as weird as it sounds, I'm like hard focused on getting the Blue Brew running. But there's like a part of me that only wants to work on the Evo right now to get the Evo running. That's not the smartest decision. I'm not just going to like 100% solely focus on the Evo. Right now it's going to be split like realistically probably like 50% STI, 40% Evo, like 10% Golf R right now until things it's always going to be like changing and evolving and growing and whatnot. But that's like right now, that's where my focus is at. A, because I don't have any parts for the Golf R right now. They're all in transit somewhere in Troutdale. B, I want to get the Evo like starting to get going so that way I can at least get the engine to be built and get it back in the car. That's like one of my primary goals is getting the engine back in the car in that thing right now. But we have to build the engine first because I'm not going to put like I know the engine has 60K miles on it, but I'm not going to throw that a random short block, random long block in that car and just be like, well, I hope everything's good. We're going to do right. The shop just coming in, so ignore if already covered. I'm going to look at one tomorrow, so hopefully everything goes according to plan with the shop. Going out there tomorrow morning to take a peek at it. Make sure that we can still like snag it. It's with the one that I'm looking at right now, and the one that I really, really want to get. The tenant isn't moving out of it, and I already have money allocated for the deposit on the shop. But the tenant won't leave the shop, and he's paying month to month. So I'm like waiting for this guy to be like, all right, can you like get out of here? So that way I can like come in here and like start setting up and whatnot. So hopefully soon. Like I said, tomorrow, I'm going to look at another one tomorrow. So hopefully everything pans through with that one. Can you explain what the fuel stumble issue is with the STI? So it's the fuel pressure regulator. If you look at the stock fuel pressure regulator in newer STIs, they have a whole bunch of like fuel dampers in them. And the fuel dampers is it's one of the factors that cause the fuel stumble issue. Another one of the factors is the stock feed lines. The only really true way to get rid of the fuel stumble issue is if you go with like an Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. You have all AN lines. You get rid of all the stock line crap. That's why a lot of people go to the Cobb. The Cobb fuel pressure regulator. It gets rid of all the damper crap in the fuel pressure regulator, the stock fuel pressure regulator, and it simplifies it, and it just uses like a normal GD chassis fuel pressure regulator. That's why if you look at like 2007 plus, when they started adding all of those dampers, actually I think it's 2008 plus, they started adding all those fuel dampers in there. It's a stupid design. I don't know why they did it, but it's just, there's so much happening. It's dumb. It's dumb. The Subi and Mitsu are two different beasts, 100%. Get that Bend Pack sponsored. Who's Bend Pack? Now I need to look up Bend Pack. That rings a bell and it sounds familiar. So what made you decide to get a 2004 Evo instead of 2005? It was available, so we snagged it. It was the color I wanted. It was available, and it was a project. So it kind of met the criteria that I was looking for. I didn't want to spend, so I've, like, you guys know, I've been looking for an Evo for a year. Like, I was supposed to get an Evo before I got Karma, and the prices of them are unrealistically high, that I couldn't realistically justify spending $40K on an Evo, or like $30K on an Evo. And all the ones that are like $30 to $40K are ridiculous in mileage too. They're all like 150,000 plus miles. I'm like, what kind of crack are you guys smoking? Like, jeez. Couldn't do it. Just went stage 2 for my 2015 WRX after going full throttle. My fine knock learn went to positive 1.41, but my dam went to 0.625, 0.750. The car runs fine. What is going on with it? It's probably a hiccup in the tune. If you really want to force it back to 1, this is what I always suggest if your dam drops and you get a little bit of weird knock, but it's like the car's still running just fine and you don't audibly hear anything weird. Go ahead and force reset dam back to 1. Just reset ECU learning. Let the car idle for about 15 minutes to let the idle relearn. Go drive the car for about 15 minutes. Normal driving. Don't get on it. Don't hammer on it. Anything like that. Let the ECU start to relearn some of its parameters. If you see dam and fine knock learn start to freak out again, at that point start investigating in the car. A lot of the times with some of these tunes, sometimes they will throw a hiccup. It'll reduce the ignition tables and then your dam is going to drop a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It's just the car putting itself in a safeguard mode, kind of reducing the limitations of what it can do. So whenever your dam drops, it's just reducing the ignition table and the values that the car is going to be able, or the ECU is going to be able to let the car do. So force reset it back to 1. If it happens again, start investigating. Can you just remove the fuel dampers? Will it affect anything in a bad way? That's a good question, Dan. I actually don't know. I'd have to like look at one. I don't think you can, because I'm pretty sure the stock fuel pressure regulator has a whole bunch of like little like nipples and whatnot coming off of them, interweaving and intertwining into each other. So I don't think you can, but it's worth looking at. Tarmac Black was the color I wanted as well, but I wanted the 2005 because it came with the 10.5 turbo stock instead of the 9.8. We're going to be doing a bigger turbo anyway, so I'm not like too concerned with it, but that Tarmac Black is just, ooh, it looks so good. I found out the hood on that car spray painted too. It's an NRG. First of all, I don't like NRG. NRG is a very cheap, low quality brand, to say the least. It's got an NRG hood. The fitment on it is kind of whack, and it's been spray painted, so I've been debating sending that thing to town with a hammer and just letting out a little pent up anger on that hood and just absolutely demolishing it. So we'll see. Tanner, what oil should I run on my Tesla? Ooh, that's a good one. I would probably do 0W200, because that is the go-to for all Teslas. 0W200. It's money. Or you could do my second favorite, which I love to do in my cars, is Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley makes some like quality stuff to throw in there. It's my favorite. It better be a plaid, by the way, too. Coming in here talking about a Tesla, better be a plaid, David. I'm just joking. I like Teslas. Teslas are quick. I wouldn't personally want a Tesla, but they're quick. I won't deny that. I removed mine off my 07 WX, no problems. Perfect. Look at that. See? It has been verified. We can do it. We can do the thing. Love your videos. I just bought a 2017 WX. I'm so in love. Well, so nasty. Congrats on the car, my friend. Hopefully it gives you a long, happy, fun life of modifying and like tuning and doing all the things you could ever imagine. All the stuff. LOL, my old STI hit -11 cruising. That's not bad. And if any of you ever had the opportunity or got the opportunity in the future to drive Karma, you'll see feedback knock on that car go through the roof. And I mean through the roof. You'll see it go to like -30. It is wild. It is absolutely wild to watch feedback knock go, oh, -30. It's funny. It's the lightweight flywheels phantom knock. It's not actually, it's not real knock. So with knock sensors, they listen for a very specific frequency, and if they pick up that frequency, that's what determines like a knock value. So if it's hearing something that creates this frequency that's not actually detonation or pinging inside of the engine, it'll throw off all these knock will go wild. It's so funny to see. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh! And then after we started digging into it a little bit more, we verified it was phantom knock. And some of you guys have asked this in the past. Really, the only way to like tell if something is phantom knock is knock ears. So if you don't know what knock ears are, is you mount a knock sensor on the engine, and then it's literally a set of, I don't have any like around here. It's like a set of headphones, and like you're wearing the headphones and you're listening, you're like manually listening for the pinging that happens in the engine. So like there's not really any other way to determine phantom knock unless you have a set of these like knock ears. I know Haltech sells Haltech sells a set of the knock ears, but it's funny, a lot of you guys have asked me in the past how to determine phantom knock. You really can't unless you have a set of knock ears and you can like manually listen for it. But yeah, phantom knock, it's a fun thing. Surely Subaru people are some of the weirdest out there. Spark plugs? What's wrong with spark plugs? I like spark plugs. You like spark plugs. We all like spark plugs. Spark plugs. Why my 300 plus wheel horsepower, 150k mile EJ255 stock internals won't blow up? 5% leakage each cylinder. Do you want to blow it up? I don't understand if you want to blow it up or not. If you want to blow it up, just hold it at redline for a while and see what happens. That'll blow it up. Surely it'll blow it up. Next owner blew the engine up 3 months after he bought it, asking me to pay him $6,000. If somebody bought one of my cars, blew it up 3 months later, I'm sorry, that's on you. That ain't on me. That's on you, 100%. I give people the full rundown of my cars when I sell them to them. Like, hey, this is a potential issue. This is a potential issue. You need to do this. You have to do this. Oil changes at this interval. Here's the weird things that happen with the car. Here's like the normal stuff. Expect this. Expect that. I'd be like, hey, sorry, dude. You did something. Wanted electric purple STI, but since my favorite color is available, a Spark Silver. Also appreciate the dono, Ravenchild. Spark Silver is an awesome color. That was the first color of my 08 STI, or my first STI. It was an 08 STI in Spark Silver, and I like the Spark Silver. Before you move into the shop, can you do a garage tour of your tool collection you've collected? I could work that into a video. I don't think that's like one single video worthy. Oh, yeah. But I can definitely make that happen, dude. Michael, look at that. Creeping in the shadows. My friend. How you doing, man? How you doing since you got out of the army, by the way? I'm going to ask the question everyone is wondering. How much do you spend on gloves and shop towels during an engine build? So I don't use gloves anymore. I got tired of spending money on gloves. Like a box of gloves is stupid expensive now. It's like $30 for a box of medium, like 100 medium gloves from Harbor Freight. Shop towels, probably like $40 on shop towels per engine build, just to keep everything clean. Brake clean is the expensive one. I spend way too much money on brake clean during engine builds. I'm just anal. I just want to make sure everything's like stupid clean as I'm doing it. Everything is so back up. My 2020 STI 6466 rotated kit ETS is waiting for a freaking hardwire kit for my dual fuel pump 525. I mean, you could always use radiums wiring if you really wanted to. Nothing wrong with using radiums wiring. I've used it before. Exactly what I said to him. Car was running totally fine. Told him not to boost under like 3.5 to 4K RPM. Make sure, dude. That's what I'm saying. When you sell a built car, and I'm not. When you sell a built car, and you buy like a fully built car, you need a meticulous. It's not a stock car. It's not a Camry. They require more maintenance. You're putting more load, more stress on a car when it's fully built and you're hammering on it all the time. You can't go 5K. You can't go 7K between oil changes. It's wild. Have I noticed the tarmac black paint has blue flake hidden? I haven't. It looks so good. I need to do a full paint correction on the Evo. It doesn't look the best right now, but we can make it look better. We can definitely make it look better. Knock ears. Knock ears are good. Knock ears. I need to sneeze. I can feel it. You know when you get like, you can feel a sneeze happening, but it like hasn't come out. That's where I'm at right now. I can feel the sneeze. Remember when we were troubleshooting my fuel pump and it ended up being the fuel pressure regulator? I would not recommend the 07 STI fuel pressure regulator since it flipped upside down. Oh, that is true. That is a good point. That is a good point right there. Where'd I just go? Love you. Love you. Love you, fan. You are the best. Keep up your videos. I appreciate it, dude. Evo 10 is not a real Evo. The one thing, like, I like the exteriors of Evo 10s. The one thing that gets me with the Evo 10s that I've never been a fan of is the interior. I cannot, like, Mitsubishi interiors are not good. They're not good interiors, but I will say the 8 and the 9 interior is better than the 10. The 10 interior stock, I can't do it. I can't do it. This is not me. I just hit 15K with my Hawkeye STI build, not done yet. Have you tallied up the cost of each car? I haven't done it on the 17 STI because I really don't want to. I can estimate. I know a lot of people have actually asked me how much like have I roughly spent on the Blueberry with the EG swap. It's under 30. It's between 25K and 27K is where I'm at right now. All in. That's like ECU, fabrication costs, engine build, turbo, fuel system. Everything. It's probably around like 25 to 27K. I don't want to tally it up. I don't want to total up. It's expensive. I don't like tallying it up. The 05, I did it on the 05 and it wasn't terrible. I think total cost I spent on the 05 was maybe 22 all in for everything, which isn't awful. It's not awful. It's not great, but it's not awful. I know this is BS. I have all new stuff, but still old stuff. It doesn't work. You are the man, Tanner. I appreciate it, dude. Doug! Welcome, Doug. What's going on, dude? When you gonna tie something to a tree and burn down the tires? I don't know. We can do that. You want to do that? You just send all 4 tires? Roast them all? I have tires to roast. Do I? Actually, no, I don't anymore, unfortunately. Tires are expensive. I don't want to roast tires. I remember when people used to complain about Subaru interior, right? Subaru interiors aren't the greatest either, but they're better. They're better than Mitsubishi interiors. I will say that. It's just, I don't know. We can always make interiors better. We can always make them feel better. I still need to find. I'm trying to find Evo 9 MR front and rear seats on eBay, and I'm waiting for a set to pop up because we need seats for that car, and I really like the Evo 9 MR ones. If I could find a set of Evo 9 interior stuff, I'm jumping on that so quick. Like, so quick. I love watching the build videos. My 05 STI is down for the week with a failed injector. Perfect excuse to finally put in a new turbo. Top feed conversion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. Side feed sucks. Like, I'll be the first one to say it. Every time I get a car with side feed injection, I always convert that to top feed. Nobody really tunes side feed injection anymore either. Everyone does top feed now. Top feed is where it's at. Top feed is future. Well, I guess direct injection is future, but top feed is life. Let's have plumber put a hit on the clown that gave you a thumbs. We're still focusing on that. I don't even know who it was. There's no, like I said, I can't please everyone. All right? I can do my damnedest to try to help as many people as I can, but there's always the one. Just finished a build IAG 2.5 closed deck FP green, UHF and flex fuel combo, Cobb front mount intercooler, 1300cc injectors. That's a good setup right there. I've A69 likes. I've never been a fan. Like, after buying a Cobb front mount intercooler, I don't think I'd ever buy another one. Good luck with the seats for real. Like, I'll wait for him to pop up. I don't have front or back seats in the Evo right now. I'm in no hurry. I ain't driving that car for a while anyways, but I'll wait. I'm going to find me an Evo 9 set. I want that Evo 9 set. I'll wait till someone's parting one out. I don't care. I totally just lost where I was with that. Oh, top feed. Top feed is way better. Hey, what's up, man? What up, Astral? What car should I get? A 2013 Subaru WRX STI hatchback for 21K with 87K unmodified, or an Evo 10 GSR for 24? I'm 16. It really depends on what you want, to be honest. There's pros and cons to Subaru and to STI and Evo. There's pros and cons to each one. Personally, if you're going to be doing a lot of the work on it yourself, I'd flip a coin. I can't tell you which one to get. Flip a coin. I like them both. You guys know I'm partial to Subaru, but I've always also been partial to Evos as well. This is just the first time I've actually been able to cop one. Flip a coin. Go drive them both. See what one you like more. Personally, I'm going to say I don't like the interior in the Evo 10. I don't think it looks good at all. But go drive them both if you can. Find one that's affordable. I know the prices on... Well, the Evo's 24K. The STI's 21K. Flip a coin. I'm going to go back. Flip a coin. I can't tell you which one to build, man. I like them both. I know Matt was talking about looking for Evos too. Like Evo 10. Matt likes Evo 10s. Maybe one day, if we ever have the funds, I could surprise Matt. Matt, if you're watching this right now, if we ever get the funds, I'm going to surprise you with an Evo 10 one day. Like a blown up Evo 10. You're going to have to put it back together and fix it. But if the opportunity's ever there, Matt, I'm going to surprise you. Why you not like Cobb? Oh, yeah, that's it. I don't like the Cobb I like the Cobb from an intercooler core. I don't like the piping. I think the piping's kind of stupid on the cold side with the whole wraparound loop crap. Aside from that, I like it. But the price on those ones is just super hard to justify. You ever see yourself getting a V8? I used to have a V8. It's just not the type of V8 you thought you like normally think. So there's a weird time in my life where I had a Maserati Gran Turismo. Awesome, fun car. Super cheap, too. Everyone thinks Maseratis are expensive. Hell no. You can get a secondhand Maserati for cheap as hell. It had, I know it was some Ferrari V8 in it. It had the DSG, everything like that. I've had a V8. It was a blast. Don't get me wrong. But to be honest, they're like, that one was expensive. I will never do that again. I will never buy another one of those. Luckily, I was able to like give it back to the dealer because they messed up on paperwork, so I only had it like 2 or 3 weeks. But after having the car for 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, it's fun, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, they get more expensive to modify. The more cylinders you add, the more expensive they get. They're like power stuff. And you know what? We'll probably do an LS swap at some point in the future. We'll buy some LS. I've always wanted to do one anyway. So you know what? You talked me into it. You talked me into it. At some point in the future, we will. Speaking of Matt, is Mittens running yet? Unfortunately, no. Mittens has a long block now sitting in the garage. It's got heads on the Type RA short block, but it's not back in the car yet. Have you ever had a problem with the WRX 5-speed? Personally, I have not. I've had a handful of GD chassis WRXs. Neon is getting fab right now. No, the Neon's sitting by the garbage cans outside. The Neon's in... Well, it's not by the garbage cans anymore. We moved the garbage cans, but the Neon's sitting outside. 5-speed WRXs, I've never had an issue with the 5-speed myself, only because I've never really pushed power on a 5-speed because they don't like power. But if you want to push power on a 5-speed, I would highly suggest more blast plates, or if you can afford it, a PPG gear set if you do want to keep the 5-speed and not convert over to a 6-speed. But aside from that, like daily driving, I've never had an issue with a 5-speed. Looks like you're streaming in a Mexican restaurant. What? This is not a sombrero. This is not a sombrero. It's my sun hat. It's my sun hat. Look at that. What's wrong with a sun hat? You gotta stay cool in the summertime. This is my track hat. Whenever we go out and do like track stuff, or we like go out and it's hot and I don't want to like melt, I wear the sun hat. The sun hat's where it's at. Now I'm gonna wear the sun hat. I hope you like the sun hat. Looks like I'm worried about mine with the power. I want to make about 450, 480 wheel. PPG gear set, 100%. More blast plates will do you some justice, but not 450 to 480. That's not going to happen. Either STI 6-speed or a PPG gear set is what you're going to have to do. You might be able to keep the 5-speed alive for 1 or 2 pulls, but I don't see that thing lasting long term. My buddy had an early 80s Maserati bi-turbo. He restored. Super clean car. Huge headache. Dude, for real. Huge headaches of a car. Junior, appreciate the dono, dude. Getting FD rotary already. Keeping boxers alive. Might as well go ham. I would love to get an FD. I've always wanted an FD. But, you know, it's kind of like the same thing with the Evo. Maybe at some point in the future, if we can come across like a deal that's worth us getting, we will get one. But I'm not paying FD prices for like a clean running FD. I'd rather just build one. What got me into cars? When I was 16, I got my first car. It was a 1988 Subaru XT coupe, and I don't know, I just started like, I remember it broke, the starter went out on it, and me and my buddy Eric had to bump start the car. So I remember I was sitting in the car, he's like pushing the car behind. Actually no, we were both pushing. I ran up into the driver's seat, jumped in, and I popped it into first gear, and the car started back up, and then I had to replace the starter on the car. After replacing the starter, I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. I took it apart, put it back together. I felt like very like proud of myself because I was like 16. I was like, I just fixed this broken machine and I got it working again. And then it kind of spiraled out of control from there. And then after my 88 XT, when I was in the Army, I got a 350Z. Started playing around with the VQ platform, 350Z stuff for a while. Keep in mind, that was like my first, like, you're killing me with the hat. What's wrong with the sun hat, dude? Keep in mind, the VQ was like my learning platform, so I made a lot of mistakes on that. When I got back from my deployment, I bought an 08 STI because if you've ever been in the military and you deployed, you know you come back with like a 18-year-old me, or no, it was like 19-year-old me came back from deployment with like 12 grand in my bank account, and I thought I was rich. I was like, I'm gonna go buy an STI that I always wanted. So I went and bought one, and then it continued to spiral out of control, and then I like modifying cars now. It's weird. I don't know. It's like, half the time whenever I'm like modifying cars, you get to the point where you question your sanity of why you're doing the things you're doing. I don't know. I question why I'm into cars all the time, but I absolutely love it. PPG gear set, okay, and blast plates. Yes, if you really want to strengthen it up. Where did I just go? I got the bug eye glass trans, but on stock power level, and don't launch it, so it should be fun. I mean, it should be fine for the most part then. What are your plans for the Evo? I want to oh, thank you. I was actually going to share that. Let me actually pull up the goals for the Evo because I want to show you guys this. Also, Doyle, appreciate the dono, man. Love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you. I will definitely keep it up. And we will continue making the videos and doing the stuff. Let me show you guys the goals for the Evo. Black modified Evo 8. This is like my vision for it. If I can pull up this photo right here. That's kind of what I want to do with the Evo right here. Where did this just take me? Where's that? Well, this. I love this. I just want to keep it like a super clean track car, not track car, like a street car. But I want it to look good also. I'm not going to go to the extent of doing, I think that's a Varus bumper on it. I don't want to do the Varus bumper on it. Just the Evo 9 bumper. I don't like those side skirts either, but like this idea of an Evo is like what I've always wanted to build. So I just want to do like a super clean street Evo. If this is anyone's Evo in here, I absolutely love this car. If this is anyone's in here, absolutely love it. How many of us started with a Civic in here? That's one thing I've never had. I've never owned a Honda. Maybe one day we'll get a Honda. I'm sure there's others though. Like this, I absolutely love this. I love everything about this car. This is what I want to make mine into. And it's not going to happen overnight. I know that it's going to take a while, but I'm going to do this. This is except for those vents back there. I do not like the vents back here. Can I zoom in on that? Oh, I can zoom in on that. Those window vents, I've never been a fan of those. I do wish, I know it was the MRs only, if I could find that photo. He got a sunroof. I want a sunroof. I like sunroofs. Sunroofs are cool. I like sunroofs. Can you work on cars without a garage? 100%, yeah. When I lived in an apartment complex, I used to work on my car in the overhang. The apartment complex used to get mad at me all the time, but they said as long as I didn't spill fluids anywhere, I was good. But yeah, I mean, I've worked on cars in gravel driveways, the side of the road, in my barracks parking lot when I was in the army, in the garage, everywhere. You can work on cars literally anywhere. You don't need a garage to do it. Started with Accords. Does that count? Hey, I'd count that. I'd count that. Smedia like Devin Imola, old black Evo 8. See? I mean, his was clean. His was clean. I like that car. I want to work on cars for a living, so just stuck on where to start. Honestly, I mean, there's some good schools out there. For me, I never went to school to learn how to work on cars. I've always just been like self-taught, kind of like motivated to figure it out on my own. There's definitely things that I would learn if I went to a school that I wouldn't learn otherwise. But for the most part, between like High Performance Academy, getting hands-on with stuff, I do think that's the best way to learn. I wouldn't learn on other people's cars. I would definitely practice on your own beforehand. Making mistakes on customers' cars is just going to bite you in the butt, and you're going to have to pay out of pocket to like fix any issues that you have. I mean, same with your own car, but at least it's your own car, so if you break it, no one else is mad at you. I got the same gauge cluster over the AC controls. I have the same one. That's the one I have. That's the one that I have over the climate controls, the angled ones with all the AEM gauges. Luckily, our Evo did come with that. Apparently, I was told that's like a super rare piece or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I was told that. I'm still doing like research into it. But yeah, I got the same one. It's a cool one. Cool. I like how it's all angled towards the driver too. In the middle of the desert with a hole in the oil pan. Ooh, that one doesn't sound like a fun one to have to do. If you get MacGyver-y enough, you can fix a lot of things. You can fix a lot of stuff. It's just, do you have the motivation to do it? Can you get the bare basic resources to do it? And do you want to do it? Those are like the three things. Like, you can do it. You can definitely do it. Let's be real. Everyone spills some fluids when working on cars. You should see me try to drain coolant out of GD chassis Subarus whenever I do engine swaps in them, or R&Rs. The dumbest design in 02 to 07 WRXs and STIs. The drain plug for the radiators is on the side of the radiator above the lower core support. So as soon as you pull this plug out, it just splashes literally everywhere. There's no way of catching it. I have tried so many different techniques. Unless you shove like a hose in there and put it into like a bucket, it's going everywhere, every single time. But the hobby shop on base was my happy place. That's not a bad hobby shops. I actually don't think I've ever been to a hobby shop. They sound cool, though. I'm glad I'm not the only one that spots mid-project and contemplate whether I should be doing what I'm doing or not. Dude, it's every time. Every time. I've done that with the 17 STI. I did that with the 05 STI. I'm doing that with the Evo. I've done that with the BRZ. Every single car build. I sit there and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I just contemplate it. Like, there's a bolt. I'm sitting there. I'm staring at like a bolt or something and I can't get it. And I can see it. I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? Why do I put myself through this torture? Why? Oh my god, I hate draining coolant. That's what I'm saying. On 02 to 07 Subarus, it is the worst. Yes, draining coolant on GD suck. There's no way. There is no feasible way to catch all that coolant. It literally splashes everywhere. I don't know why the engineers thought it was a good idea to put the drain on the side of the radiator right above the core support. If you don't have a hose in that thing, it's literally everywhere. I learned the importance of timing belts with my first Honda. I learned the importance of timing belts with the Subaru. The 05 STI was actually the first car I timed on my own. And see, look at that. Now we're like rebuilding engines and whatnot. What do I think about the Lancer on Too Fast, Too Furious? Hideous. Hideous. Absolutely hideous. You're talking about the yellow one with the blue? Absolutely hideous. Where did this just come from? Oh, no. No! The little thing just came out of... Oh, whatever. It still works. It still works. Whatever. 21 STI. Should I go to my 30-day inspection if I'm doing all my maintenance for now? It says all they need to do is check fluids, rotate tires. I'm installing new tires tomorrow. I'm buying... Personally, I wouldn't. If you really want to, you can. If you want to, you can. I'm not going to say you need to go, though. I daily drive a Civic SI now. Nice. What does everyone think of the new SI? Literally, my GD gave me full-on bukkake and coolant in my mouth. Oh, my God. You're not alone. It's happened to me, too, man. It's happened to me, too. You are not alone. Taco Bell tonight, you know, I'm kind of feeling Taco Bell. Maybe Taco Bell. We'll see. God, dude, the GD comment just got me rolling now. I'm gonna show... Dude, it's so dumb pulling coolant out of GD chassis. It's stupid. I'm sure you can have a carbon one made for the cluster, but that one gives a stock look. True. I don't know if mine is carbon or not. I'm gonna have to go peek at the Evo after this. Actually, we've been going for a little over an hour now, you guys. I gotta jump off of here anyways. I got some other stuff I gotta knock out tonight. Tearing apart the 4G63 tomorrow. I'm a little concerned if we have bent valves or not, since the timing belt's off that thing and it's an interference engine. As long as the short block and the pistons aren't at top dead center, I think we should be all right. And we won't have any bent valves. If we do, like I said, it won't be the end of the world. I'll tear the head off. Head's getting torn off tomorrow anyway, so we'll find out. Also deleting the balance shaft in that car, if it's still in there, because I have no idea. Or in that 4G, because I heard those are just stupid and they give issues. So balance shaft delete is definitely happening as well. But anyways, I appreciate all the donuts tonight. You guys always come in here, kill it every single time. If I did not get to your question, if I did not see your question, or if I missed your question, comment, or concern, please jump in Friday's live stream every Friday, Tuesday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. You guys know it. We do the live streams, videos every other day, all the good stuff. So I'm excited to get that 4G63 torn apart tomorrow. This is going to be my first time tearing apart a 4G. So I'll learn as I go. But with that, hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week. I will catch you guys in Friday's live stream. And I don't know what's after that. I don't know where I was going with that one. But peace out, homies. ATI damper. I do an ATI and do a fluid damper. Woo! And see, now it's the awkward part.